Hey everybody, Hank Linderman here. I'm on the road, so I'm doing this from the laptop. Who knows how this will work? I'm glad to see some of you here. It's Monday, September 28th. You know me, I'm running for Congress here in Kentucky's 2nd District, although today I am in Kentucky. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm upstairs at an apartment, so anyway, I hope you all are doing well. There's a bit to talk about today, and I hope you're able to hear me. Like I say, we often have Bruce Seitzer is here. Yes, please share. I don't have the sound effects today. Bruce Seitzer, how are you doing? One of my buddies from high school. Yes, and I'm so glad you all are. Look at there's 20 of us here already. Jim Porter is here. Cindy Braun is here. Yes, please share. And you can see today that the story is, or the thing I'm going to talk about, is taxes are for the little people. You may, if you're younger, you may not remember a woman named Leona Helmsley, who was a hotel owner in Manhattan. And many years ago, she was very, very wealthy and made a big deal about, being pretty open about how much money she had and how little she paid in taxes. And her famous comment was, well, taxes are for the little people. So, how can you beat that? Well, anyway, let's talk a bit about this. And because this is, like I say, I don't have all of the info that I would normally have in front of me. I don't have my sound effects. I don't have my lighting. I don't have my nice camera. This is kind of the rough and ready version of this. Let's get some look at the numbers. The first thing, of course, is we're going to notice that, as usual, over the weekend, the figures are lower than we expect. Only 276. Of course, it is a tragedy for everyone who had a family member who passed away. But 276 deaths. But we know better. We know by now that the figures over the weekend are slow to show up. But look at that number, 209,453, and that's our total number of cases. We're going to hit 210,000. Of course, last week it was also announced that we have 250,000 excess cases. So more deaths than we expected. Now, all of those probably can't be COVID, but it looks like we are undercounting the COVID deaths. And of course, Donald Trump, who takes no responsibility. Oh, I didn't mean for this to do this. Let's see. I've got the cure, I think. It's doing its own switching on me. Like I say, I'm on my mobile rig, which I have not used for a bit. So let's go ahead and look at California, Texas, and Florida, our current number ones. But notice that in terms of total deaths, Texas has moved in front of California. Of course, New York and I believe New Jersey remain in first place. New Jersey is in second place. Cindy Braun just says in North Dakota they had a record 14-day stretch. Oh, in South Dakota, they have passed North Dakota and they had a record 14-day stretch. Very bad, very, very bad. We're seeing that. By the way, David Royce is here, and of course, I do call on our Kentucky legislators to do a much better job of taking care of people who are addicted. There's so many ways we can deal with it, and one of the ways, of course, would be to have safe, legal doses for people that are registered opiate addicts. And there's a new drug out there called ISO that I've just now heard about that is multiple times more powerful than fentanyl, which is already just massively, massively dangerous. And it apparently takes 5 times the amount of Narcan to pull them out of an overdose, and it doesn't show up on any drug tests. So they don't know when you're presenting if you've overdosed. They don't know quite what to do but pump you full of Narcan, and just a terrible, terrible drug. This is from Jim Porter's got a little bit of info for you on Leona Helmsley. Was an American businesswoman. Her flamboyant personality and reputation for tyrannical behavior earned her the nickname Queen of Mean. Alleged there were after allegations of non-payment made by contractors hired. Well, that's very long. We don't pay taxes. Only the little people pay taxes. Wow. And Hildegard says Brett Guthrie, or Jim Porter says Brett Guthrie came up with a statement on Facebook cheering on the selection of the Supreme Court. Amy, what's her name? Hopefully we'll find a way to slow that down. But the reality is, until Democrats control Congress, they're not going to be able to do very, very much about it, unfortunately. So anyway, back to our daily bits that I want to show you. Actually, I'll show you that afterwards. These are showing up in the wrong order. Folks, you're not helping me. I don't have the correct one. Well, this is from a story, I believe, in the New York Times. For some reason, the piece isn't there, but I thought that the letters, like I say, I read the letters. So this is from someone named KB in California. The year 2018 was a bad one for me. My husband passed away in January, and I was forced to sell the house that we were going to live in when we retired in June. I went ahead and retired in June. My income for 2018 was a third less than when my husband was alive. I guess I was lucky that I got $50,000 in insurance money because my tax bill was $21,000. Mind you, my husband and I, pardon me, we're teachers. And that tax bill was an extreme hardship. So she paid $21,000 in 2018. Trump and every rich tax cheat like him make me physically ill. And the critical piece of her comment is, I'm too poor to cheat. Nina Morberry is here. Hi, Nina. How are you? Bill is right. Please, everybody, do some sharing. Let's get this done. Barbara Ticci is mentioning that Al Capone was imprisoned for tax evasion. You know, there are those who are saying, well, this is just the way wealthy business people do it. This is just how they do it. And it exposes how much the system is rigged for people who are wealthy and powerful. We've talked about this time and time again. So Mark Andes is here and saying, hi, Mark, I hope you're working on your song you're going to sing, whatever you're going to do. Let's carry on just a little bit further. This is for the records. Trump's records show chronic losses and years of tax avoidance. Marsha Wilson is here from Washington County. Jerry Goodman is here. Hey, Jerry, how are you? Cindy Braun is here. Bless you, Cindy. So, look, what we're seeing is that Trump is, as we expected, at least as much of a fraud as we were afraid he might be. And he truly is a fraud. Look what he's been up to. Paid $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency. And his first year in the White House, he paid another $750. Okay, the last president to pay $750 a year in income taxes, I'm going to guess, was George Washington. Maybe it was someone later. But whoever it was didn't have a private jet and didn't own a whole bunch of hotels and didn't spend $70,000 on haircuts and didn't hire his daughter as a consultant for $700,000. Just incredible. And of course, Trump and his supporters will say, well, you don't understand, or there's something, whatever. His finances are under stress. He's also got hundreds of millions of dollars in debt coming due. So he's dangerously cornered. So I think that's a dangerous situation for our whole country. You would have had to have earned, all you had to do, Nina. Okay, I apologize. I have a cousin named Nina, and it's spelled that way. Wow. Sorry, I'm just reacting because you all are very active on the comments today. So if you're not sharing in on the comments, you gotta jump in. Jim Porter, you're carrying us today. And Nina, I apologize. Like I say, I've got a cousin named Nina, and that's how she spells her name, unless you are, I knew you as Nina, and maybe you're my cousin. You are my cousin, Nina. I apologize. Okay. This is my cousin, Nina. Anyway, Jim Porter, look what he's saying. Brett Guthrie's net worth rose from less than half a million, 421,000 and change actually, to over 10 million in the 10 years he served in the House of Representatives. It's a neat trick on $174,000. This is what this party, unfortunately, is about. And, you know, I talked about this a bit yesterday on the fundraiser. And by the way, those of you that haven't seen the fundraisers, we did one Saturday and one Sunday. Definitely go back and look at them. We'll be doing more of them on this coming Saturday and Sunday. We're waiting to get tapes from recordings from Jerry Goodman from the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Mark Andes from Spirit. I think Gary Griffin from the Brian Wilson Band is going to contribute some. We got some local folks, some state folks. It's just going to be fantastic, and there were some wonderful performances. But anyway, if we took the country and divided it into 4 equal groups of population, so 25% of the population divided, 25% in each group, you could call one group rural. You could call the next group sub-rural, and you could call the third group suburban, and the top group, the last group, you'd call urban. Well, in terms of their representation in the Senate, the cities, the urban areas, have 15% of the members of the Senate, but the rural group has 35%. So the 10 that would have gone to the urban group belong to the rural group. Now, you think that would be okay if if the folks who had gotten into office using that, if they had used that to actually make it an advantage for rural and working America. I mean, you would think that we would already have health care that working Americans could afford, that there would be rural broadband, that people would be getting paid more money, that we'd have a national preschool system and a national child care system, that we would pay farmers, we would pay more for food, but farmers would be able to make a profit. I think I talked about, I saw a story where a box of cornflakes sells for more than a bushel of corn. There's 3 cents of corn in a box of cornflakes. Now that figure might be out of date. Maybe they're up to a nickel. Anyway, instead of representing people in rural districts, what Republicans have done is use that leverage to make laws that favor their contributors. And they've promised, kind of support for social issues, which costs exactly zero. It doesn't really cost anything to say I'm in favor of this or I'm in favor of that. And it's allowed them to get wealthy. And that is the issue we are seeing with the likes of Brett Guthrie, with the likes of Mitch McConnell. In fact, if what we're seeing about Brett Guthrie is true, and we're not sure about it, he may be doing better than we thought. He's actually on a faster clip at accumulating personal wealth than Mitch McConnell, which is quite a thing. All right, well, like I say, I'm on the road today. I came up to Louisville to meet with my treasurer, Stephanie, and to do various other chores. I'm going to be back at the lake tonight, so I'll be back in our regular circumstances. I'm really glad to hear from you. And I also want to say to you all, the way forward here is going to be for all of us to become committed, for all of us to become involved. It doesn't take that many people to change the world. And that's the job we're in now. We're in the change the world business right now. I've been reading that all you need is 3.5% of a population to get actively involved, and that a group like that never fails. And also that violent groups are half as successful. Nonviolent protests have a better success rate by double. You realize, of course, that in Louisville, we are still seeing that in Louisville that the Breonna Taylor protests are continuing. and more continues to dribble out about things that were done wrong with the investigation, things that were done wrong with even the creation of the no-knock warrants, that apparently they were in violation of constitutional principles and that the judge maybe didn't do her job. So we are at this interesting moment in our nation's history. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your commitment. Any of you that can afford to contribute, now is a good time to do it. We need your contributions. You can go to hank4ky.com and contribute. I know a lot of you already have, and it's very, very much appreciated. It makes very much of a difference. Thank you for all your discussion today. That really makes a big difference. So I'll see you tomorrow, and we can go deeper into this. I believe we may have Dr. Greg tomorrow, but I haven't heard from him, and I honestly haven't reached out to him to ask. But I will check, and once I get an answer, I'll let you all know. If not, we have someone else. We have another candidate for Bowling Green mayor, and he may be showing up. We will see. All right. Well, thank you all so much. We'll have a guest tomorrow. We'll have plenty to discuss. Remember, just because you're angry, don't act like a damn fool. Use your anger to focus yourself to do the thing that needs to be done. You know, that's back to St. Augustine, who said, hope has two beautiful daughters: anger, which lets us see what needs to be done, and courage, which allows us to move forward and do what needs to be done. All right. Thank you all so much. You know I love you, and please take care of yourselves, and I will see you when I see you. All right. Take care.